In 2017, Rihanna released a bangin' Fenty Beauty ad featuring pop goddess Saweetie, who went viral after releasing Icy Girl. It was a great year for her as an actress, too. With the release of Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, now we know Riri is a tough girl who can put up with anything life throws at her. Case in point, she survived her turbulent relationship with Chris Brown, which would have wrecked most people. But Riri's made of steel. Or is she? Watch the video until the end to see if she truly hit the breaking point. Before we jump into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to The Taco for more great content. Now let's get into why we think there's something strange happening with Rihanna. Riri's been doing so well lately, we can't help but stare in awe. Her Fenty Beauty ad has been a major hit, and she's conquering the world again with some more Fenty Beauty products that will be released this year. But Rihanna also makes time to make some sweet music, and when she's not wowing the world with her musical talent, she's dipping her toes in the acting pool. In 2018, she starred in Ocean's 8 and amped up her movie credits. And in August, she was reportedly working on a super secret film project in the Caribbean. But if that doesn't blow your socks off, then this might. On September 21st, 2018, she became a Barbadian ambassador. But life as a superstar isn't without hardships. This year, Riri's home was broken into not once, but twice. If that wasn't bad enough, one of the break-ins was done by her very own stalker, Eduardo Leon. He supposedly spent 12 hours making himself comfortable at Riri's home. The guy was so out of his mind crazy that he even told authorities he was there to get to know Riri better. That's the kind of thing that would make anyone want to crawl into a hole. But this didn't stop Riri from going out and letting her hair down. She went out for dinner with none other than ex-boyfriend Hassan Jamil. But is he really an ex? Many fans are starting to think he's not. If there's one thing you can say about Rihanna, it's that she has a forgiving nature. Most of us would gawk at the thought of hanging with our ex. Whenever Rihanna is out and about, she turns heads. That is exactly what happened when Riri was spotted on a dinner date with her alleged ex-boyfriend, Hassan Jamil. The guy's a multi-billionaire businessman who just so happens to be totally dreamy. So we totally get the appeal of staying friends with an ex who's a major dreamboat. But perhaps they weren't looking to rekindle their relationship a la Justin and Hailey Bieber. Maybe Rihanna needed Jamil to distract her from the insanity of those break-ins that left her completely terrified. And what better way to do that than with a nice quiet dinner at Giorgio Baldi restaurant? The Santa Monica Eatery is a total celebrity hotspot, but Riri also had some bodyguards in case anyone tried something. The pair reportedly sat there for over 3 hours. That's a pretty lengthy conversation for two exes, right? Well, Rihanna never confirmed or denied that she and Jamil were over. People simply jumped to that conclusion after noticing a few red flags. But can you name the one ex fans are hoping Riri stays away from? Most fans haven't forgiven Chris Brown for what he did to Riri. Their horrible ordeal happened in 2009 during a pre-Grammy party. Brown and Riri had talked about marriage, but when he assaulted her that night, it was over. Or was it? Riri's forgiving nature left us wondering if she is now open to a friendship with Brown. In November 2018, Riri posted a photo wearing a red Savage by Fenty bikini on Instagram. Riri looked so good, Brown couldn't help but throw in his 2 cents. He simply commented on her photo with 2 separate flushed emojis that were an indicator that he totally digged the photo. You know, to put it mildly. But this royally ticked fans off. Some folks demanded he stay away from Riri, and others called him a total psycho. But what did Riri think? She posted cryptic excerpts from the Bible, which included phrases like, "You do not have to go backward." But was she indirectly aiming those comments at her ex? Only Riri would know the answer to that. Talk show host Wendy Williams feels like these two could potentially be friends, and she doesn't see anything wrong with that. We don't know if we agree with Wendy, though. What do you think? Allowing toxic people into her life is the last thing Rihanna needs, but being cordial and respectful towards Brown is more than okay. But Rihanna has no time to be focusing on boys. She's too busy spending time with Donald Glover in Cuba. But is Glover her new man now? Well, apparently some fans seem to think so. Community fans probably recognize Donald Glover as Troy Barnes, but there's so much more to Glover than acting. He's also an incredibly talented singer and rapper, and he's been on top of his game ever since the release of the controversial video, This Is America. His music is heartfelt, touching, and provocative, so it's clear to see why people are assuming these two are keeping something under wraps. Glover and Riri were in Cuba back in August 2018, filming filming the movie Guava Island. In the movie, Glover plays a musician living in paradise. Rihanna plays Glover's partner. But that's all we know about her involvement in the film. Fans are starting to think that they're keeping all the details hush-hush on purpose, and that might very well be the case. Perhaps all this mystery surrounding the project is a sign that the movie is going to be worth watching, so make sure to add Guava Island to your must-watch list. Even if the movie sucks, we're dying to see Glover and Riri interact, as there are many reports that these two have some major chemistry. And if the movie is half as good as Glover's This Is America music video, then we're sure it's going to be a box office hit. Glover and Riri are also very opinionated about what's been going on in the US. And Riri loves to support good causes. But did you hear that she rejected an offer to headline the Super Bowl? But why the refusal? As it turns out, she did it all in support of Colin Kaepernick. In case you weren't aware, the NFL player was in some hot water for kneeling during the national anthem. Now, Riri never officially commented on Kaepernick's stance directly, but indirectly, this is the reason she opted out of the Super Bowl. But this isn't the first time Riri stood up for something she believes in. Rihanna made it pretty clear where she stood during the 2016 presidential election. She was spotted wearing a gray t-shirt with Hillary Clinton's face on it. She's also gone on social media to voice her strong opposition about what's happening with the Mexican border. The good thing is, even though she may be opinionated, she uses it in a good way too. She's made a positive statement with her Fenty Beauty foundation line, where she gets to make people feel included. Now, most beauty brands feature 2 or 3 shades of foundation for dark skin tones, but her beauty line offers a wide range of shades for women of all skin colors. It's why we love Riri. She's all about spreading positivity into the world. But how far is she willing to go to show off her vulnerable side? It's hard to imagine people making fun of other people's stretch marks. After all, everyone has them, and they're perfectly natural, right? But this didn't stop someone from calling Riri out on her tiger stripes after she posted a beautiful photo on social media. But she didn't keep quiet. It all started when she released a series of photos on Instagram enjoying some fun in the sun. But when someone mentioned her stretch marks, she calmly responded by saying, "I got stretch marks, but that's the sun." She also used a laughing emoji, and a lot of her fans were glad she acknowledged having tiger stripes, as it made her even more relatable. One person wrote, "You still look great with those stretch marks." But Riri's not the only one who's proud of her tiger stripes. Demi Lovato, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, and Drew Barrymore have also proudly showed off their stretch marks. It's so refreshing to see so many celebs showing themselves in a different light, even if it includes revealing things most people would consider flaws. But on occasion, Rihanna loves to raise eyebrows by sporting bold new looks. But how much is too much? The whole world wanted to know if there was a new Rihanna in town after her Vogue cover made headlines. She was rocking some barely there brows that blew everyone away, and not necessarily for the greatest of reasons. Everyone assumed she was undergoing some kind of radical transformation. Of course, that wasn't the first time she had done something extravagant with her look. The Barbadian beauty had gone from having long hair to sporting ultra short hair in an effort to rebrand herself. But now Rihanna's pencil-thin brows made her look like she was taking beauty tips from a Disney villain. Hopefully, her Vogue cover look won't inspire people to start plucking their eyebrows out. That's a 90s trend that hopefully stays in the past. Just ask anyone who grew up in that decade. A lot of people tossed out tweezers and left all the brow grooming to professionals. Some of us even hoped we would wind up growing bushy brows like Cara Delevingne. But now that Riri is sporting this bold, barely there brow look, we fear we might have to take our tweezers out of mothballs. However, fans on social media are pretty split over her look. But don't worry, Rihanna was just playing around with her look for her Vogue cover, and we're totally living for it. But Riri has always been a huge supporter of raw and real beauty, and her philosophy also applies to her Fenty Beauty line. In 2018, Riri went all out for her Savage by Fenty show in Brooklyn, New York, but the crowd was head over heels in love with the singer's pick of a particular model. Her name was Slick Woods, and she made quite a splash, but she didn't make heads turn because of her beauty. She was positively and very obviously pregnant. But that didn't stop the gorgeous femme fatale from strutting down the runway in lingerie and thigh-high pantyhose. Although we absolutely love to see a pregnant model walk the runway, we were a bit worried nonetheless. What if Woods slipped and fell? The excitement from being on Riri's fashion show made quite an impact on Woods, as she went into labor right after the show. Fortunately, the paramedics showed up to lend Woods a hand. She was rushed to the hospital and had a healthy baby boy named Saphir. But was Basso pissed off with his model girlfriend working the catwalk while pregnant? Not at all. Adonis Basso is a model too, so he likely understood his girls need to perform on stage, and Riri was simply trying to represent all types of women for her beauty line. Meanwhile, Rihanna is pretty busy with her business projects as well as her music career, but she always makes the time to fight the good fight, particularly when a company is trying to make a mockery of domestic violence. Riri's not the kind of girl that will stand by and watch the world burn. She believes that if you see evil being done and you don't do anything about it, you're just as guilty as they are. To that end, she called out the uber-famous company Snapchat, who tried making a profit out of her assault. The mobile game Would You Rather gave users two options: slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown. When Riri got wind of this, she went after Snapchat and got them to see that making fun of domestic assault was just plain wrong. She hit such a nerve that the company even apologized, claiming the game violated their advertisement guidelines and was approved, quote, by mistake. We're not sure if we believe that. They probably took it down after the Barbadian goddess had shined a light on their lack of sensitivity. But Riri didn't simply do this for herself. She felt that the game was a slap in the face to all the men, women, and children who have been victims of assault. As far as she was concerned, Snapchat had let everyone down, especially those who are still stuck in bad relationships, like she was with Chris Brown. But did you know that she even went after the President of the United States? Riri's got no problem putting him in his place, too, so to speak. Rihanna's net worth is about $260 million. That amount is still a lot, but not nearly as much compared to President Trump's $3.1 billion. But Riri is not about to get intimidated by someone she doesn't agree with, to put it mildly. She stays true to her beliefs and refuses to let anyone dictate what she can and can't do. She even went after Trump after he played Don't Stop the Music at his presidential rallies. She went as far as to call them tragic. She certainly doesn't sugarcoat things. Now it's no secret that the two celebs have opposing points of views, but this was just one slap in the face too many. So she sent the President of the United States a cease and desist letter when she learned he was playing her music. Now, in some instances, celebs who sound off on their political views take a hit in popularity, but her issues with the president and her political stand with the Super Bowl have actually proven one thing: Rihanna is a force to be reckoned with, and she's all about staying true to herself. In the end, it really paid off because the public simply adores her. She's a tough woman who's been through the very worst while the whole world watched, and yet she's always managed to come out on top. Do you think Riri made the right move by turning down the Super Bowl? What shocked you the most about our girl Rihanna? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.